Hello everyone, my name is Eve. Thank you so much for joining me here today. As usual, I will put below in the description all of the information you need to know about my website and the services that I offer. I will be uploading very soon a special attunement, which is a deeper form of meditation geared around sacred number codes for the year 2020. And that will be free for all. I will post it probably within the next 5 days. So do look for that. Now in this video, I am focusing very specifically on all of the pertinent astrological events that are happening right now. And I'm going to come at it from different perspectives. Therefore, do look at the timestamps below, because not everyone wants to listen to the astrology or the numerology. I have 3 different rows that I have picked from different card decks, which I have all lined up here. The Syrian Starseed Tarot, Angels, Gods, and Goddesses by Tony Carmen Salerno, Romance Angels, Goddess Guidance Oracle Cards, and Archangel Michael Guidebook. And I'm doing it a little bit differently this time. So I'm going to have timestamps below for the astrology portion and the numerology, and then for each one of these piles. So if for some reason you feel guided to maybe only focus in on one specific message that's for you, please do so. This is always about following your inner intuition. And I felt guided to put the Cinderella slipper up for some of you. Don't know why, that's my guidance on it. It says peace, and that the slipper is a representation of divine opportunities coming in for you, whether they're around your life mission, your work, or love opportunities coming in. So let's get started here with the astrology and the number portion of this video. This is a lunar eclipse coming in here on January 10th, 2020. There are a number of events colliding or coalescing at the exact time of this eclipse, which we are fully in already. And going back, we can look to December, where the energy started to build with 2 specific events. Jupiter entering Capricorn on December 2nd is when I felt the energy begin. It also reached a secondary beginning with the winter solstice on December 21st, and then we had the solar eclipse on December 25th and the 26th as well. So December provided us already with 3 very powerful waves of this energy that is reaching a very big fullness or wholeness, culmination through the lunar eclipse, which will be very strongly and powerfully at play for at least the next 6 months. Now, this eclipse is a culmination, ultimately, of an energy that first began with this Capricorn and Cancer eclipse cycle on July 13th, 2018. We had a solar eclipse at 20 degrees of Cancer. So now, fast forward 18 months. A lunar eclipse is a culmination of a solar eclipse, which is, the solar eclipse is a new moon. It's where the sun and the moon come together. A lunar is a full moon, so they're on opposite ends with the earth in between. Full moons are always about something coming into fruition, a harvest, a wholeness, a culmination, and an ending or completion, depending on where it is and what it is that is going on in your life at the time. So we're looking here at a culmination of something that began with the summer solstice of 2018 and that very powerful solar eclipse of July 13th, 2018. Keeping in mind that as we go through this energy, we will be ultimately completing a 2-year window of time, because this lunar eclipse will complete with the next solar eclipse on June 21st, June 20th, June 21st of 2020. That is one energy happening here, and that's across the sign languages of Cancer and Capricorn. The other events occurring are, as we are going into this lunar eclipse, we have also Mercury at 20 degrees of Capricorn, aligning with the Sun at 20 degrees of Capricorn, opposite the Moon at 20 degrees of Cancer. There's a very strong numerological theme going on here as well. If you've noticed, we have the degrees of 20, and we are in the year of 2020. The numerology in terms of the tarot is the card of judgment or karma, where all that we have sown, we are reaping now. This is a time of harvest, of reaping lifetimes, years, decades, experiences culminating throughout the next 6 to 7, 8 months of this year. That is the primary focus here. And with it, we have the planet Mercury aligning and conjoining with the Sun. And Mercury is all about accessing our inner truth, communicating that, being very clear with where we are headed. And I got a message before going on to this video that our direction and our pathway is going to become supremely clear over the coming months. And we are getting the divine guidance that we need in order to fulfill our mission, to fulfill that pathway. Now, because we are working within the earth energy of Capricorn, it means that we are indeed going to need to put in the necessary work to accomplish whatever goals and missions we are setting out to do. What I like about all of this being in Capricorn, along with the planets Saturn and Pluto as well, they're all happening around 20 degrees and 22 to 23 degrees of Capricorn opposite the Moon in Cancer. And all of these planets lining up, they're doing so over a period of about 4 to 5 days, with the lunar eclipse coming in on the 10th. The Sun and Mercury are coming together that day as well. And then both Mercury and the Sun are aligning with Saturn and Pluto between the 12th to the 13th of January, with Saturn and Pluto coming together in alignment on the 12th to the 13th as well. All of these planets are coming together in formation here. There's something incredibly powerful that is occurring. And so I want to backtrack for a moment, because the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is truly the most powerful event occurring in the middle of this. It is being absolutely guided by the Sun there, by Mercury and the Moon. And Mercury is telling us that communication is so very pivotal to the process here. And in the signs of Capricorn, it means this communication has to be clear, it has to be decisive. The work needs to be done behind the scenes to make sure that the communication is occurring. Capricorn is one of the signs of discernment. It is also one of the signs that rules history. And all of the people involved across the globe, especially within the political, military, and economic arenas right now, are going to need to lean on all of their past experiences, on history, as our greatest teacher and guide, bringing us forward now. What I like about the sign of Capricorn is it's an earth sign, so it is slow moving. That means that people are going to sit back and they are going to think about things before they do it, which is exactly what this energy is requiring. Now, with the Moon opposite it, reaching a full harvest, the Moon is essentially illuminating with its guidance all of these planets. And it started this on the 9th of January as it illuminated the South Node and Jupiter in the sign of Capricorn. I had a slight interruption there from outside, so I want to say this one more time. The moon entered Cancer on January 9th, and it began illuminating the South Node and Jupiter in early Capricorn. So that was our very first movement here. Between the late night of January 8th and the morning of January 9th through the afternoon, this energy was building. We are leaving the past behind. There are lessons that we have learned from our past and from our past experiences. And for many of us, we're still doing it right now currently. But we're very aware of what it is we are learning. We're aware of what we have actually learned. And we are now moving away from it. We are taking that experience and that wisdom with us, though, because now the moon is moving towards the sun, Mercury, Saturn, and Pluto, and in that order it is doing so. Through a lunar eclipse, the Earth is between the sun's light reaching the moon, which normally creates a full moon. This occurs over a window of time of about 5 to 6 hours, and it is happening throughout the day on January 10th, 2020. Therefore, the Earth is going to come into that perfect direct pathway of the sun highlighting the moon. This is going to give us a recalibration with the solar energy and the lunar energy. It's going to give us a pause, a moment to go into deep reflection about what is it that we truly want to achieve and what is wise. Because what I like about the sign of Capricorn is through experience and time and learning. And Capricorn takes the hard knocks. When it gets hit or put down, it rises and it learns from that. Capricorn is one of the signs that brings wisdom and intelligence, and from that knowledge gained. Therefore, we're going into this window of time, which, as I said, is going to be with us very strongly, at least through the next 7-8 months, and really through the end of 2020. It's going to be guiding us step by step towards making the right decisions, and integrity is going to be one of the central themes that we are going to be working with throughout 2020. Now, the moon in Cancer, that's about our emotional bodies. And Cancer is the divine feminine. And Cancer is one of the signs that does rule the moon. And it also is very significant for the energy of the Earth, as well as the sign of Taurus here. And on the day of the lunar eclipse, the other event that is occurring is the planet Uranus in the sign of Taurus is going direct all throughout that day. It's coming out of 5.5 months of retrograde. So it's going to be coming into the light. It's going to be direct for the next 6 months. Again, we have another time frame here that is moving in conjunction with this. There is a play ahead of us here. And the energies that are central to this theme are earth energies, specifically Capricorn and Taurus. We can always bring in Virgo. And we have water energies, specifically Cancer and Pisces. But let's bring in the third water sign of Scorpio, because they do work together as an element. So the earth and the water theme is running the show here for at least the next 6 to 8 months. We're also going to have a lot of energy coming in Gemini in the springtime, and then later this year in fire, with Mars going into Aries. But that's not for today. Now, when was the last time that we had a theme around this happening? Well, every time Pluto's been in Capricorn, there's been a theme of revolution or enlightenment going on around the Earth. The last time Pluto was in Capricorn was 1762 to 1778, and that was the American Revolution, and that was also the Enlightenment in Europe. When was the last time that we had Saturn conjunct Pluto in the sign of Capricorn? Well, there's two different periods of time, and I'm just going to mention them. 1518 was the beginning of the Protestant Revolution, where it was no longer Catholicism and the Catholic Church ruling most of the Western world. The Protestant movement was rising with the 90, I think it was 90 leaflets or pamphlets. They were nailed to trees across Germany and I believe parts of Switzerland as well. But I don't want to go back into the history here. You can look it up and Google it. It was a time of spiritual and religious enlightenment and revolution across Europe. And that absolutely was reaching other parts of the earth. And we can go farther back into time on when we had Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn with Jupiter entering Capricorn. And that actually was in the rise of Babylon, the great city of Babylon, when it was going through its reign of opulence throughout history. And I believe the time frame for that was around 1845, before Christ. So that was a very, very long time ago. But I'm bringing this in so that you can see that with these different historical periods, there was a lot of great, significant, long-term change that shaped the face of the way we live upon this planet. And when we are working with signs like Taurus, Capricorn, and then the Cancer energy as well, there's a whole nother component to it where in this time frame we are being called to make the decisions that are not only best for the human collective, but the decisions that are going to be long-term best for planet Earth as an overall global family. So this time around, all of this conglomeration of astrological energies, and that includes the numerology, because we have the energy of 2 over and over again here, and 20, 20, and 22. 2 is the energy of the high priestess. It's the numerological energy that rules the moon. So we are going to have to follow our hearts here. We're going to need to follow the divine feminine within us is leading us now. It is no longer the time of the one energy, or where the divine masculine was taking front and central theme. It is now the feminine energy that's coming in to tell us we need to do everything from a place of balance. We need to think before we act. And we need to also bring together our minds with our hearts. The heart is the 2 energy, or the 4 energy, because when we put the 20 together, we have the 4, which rules the heart chakra. We have to now think from the perspective of the greater whole, of the well-being of this entire planet. Why? Because we are in a place in history where we have not been before. We're reaching the top or the critical place of population growth, of the environment, of the resources, in the middle of possible big climactic changes, whether you want to admit that or not. So we are in a time where we've never been before. Therefore, that discernment and that having to look at everything from multiple perspectives, which is also the energy of the 2 and the 20. And think again of 2020, foresight and hindsight working together. That is the astrology here. And the numerology of the actual eclipse is January 10th. So it's a 1. We have the energy of the magician. 10 for the wheel of fortune. And when we add them all together, we either have the 15 or the 6, which would be the devil or the lovers. I would like to look at the magician going along with the wheel of fortune as key significant messages here for us. We have the power. The magician is telling us we have the power. And the wheel of fortune is showing us to make very profound, positive change for the betterment of the entire planet and every single soul and spirit and being on this planet. That is the journey of 2020. And this eclipse, unlike any other that we have had, in my perspective, is a culmination. It is perhaps the most powerful eclipse we have seen yet upon the earth in 60 years. Okay? Now, I may go back further out in time and come back and say, you know what? I'm going to add something to this. But right now, from where I'm standing, I really, truly think we are at a very pivotal time, and the power is with us. Everything is guiding us to make the best decisions that we can from all of our past experiences, our learning, our inner wisdom, but following our intuitive guidance and our hearts as well. Now that's enough on the numerology and the astrology. I would like to dive into what are the messages that the cards are bringing us. And so this is the first pile, and I have a beautiful yellow fluorite here, and fluorite is one of the stones of healing, and yellow is the color of knowledge and wisdom and learning. I'm using the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses deck, and I wanted to get both the Goddess Guidance and also Archangel Michael so that we have the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine bringing us messages here. So the first message from Archangel Michael is explore your options. Dear God, thank you for your wisdom and love in helping me see, understand, and access all of my alternative options. So it's about looking at the different pathways ahead of you right now, but doing it with discernment. Again, I keep getting that word so very strongly for the energy that we're in right now. Discernment is what brings us clarity. But explore means exploration. Do not limit yourself to only one or two options or opportunities. Like look at him there on the horse, which is Pegasus. It's about spreading your wings. Actually, those are Archangel Michael's wings. It's about spreading your wings and looking at the multitude of possibilities that are available to you. But you have to step outside of your comfort zone to do that, or usually to step outside of your usual way of looking at things. Broaden your perspective here is what I'm being told. Again, broaden your perspective so that you can see the greatest options available to you, and take the time to explore it, but recognize this is a card of taking action. The second message he has here is forgive yourself. You've done nothing wrong. I was sensing that many of you, and that includes myself as well, that in coming in to this strong new beginning, which the alignment of Sun, Mercury, Saturn, and Pluto is, because they're all coming together in a line in the sign of Capricorn. That is a giant new beginning that is being offered to us from the divine source of all that is. But in coming into this great new beginning on planet Earth, it's about forgiving yourself for all of the misdirection you've gone through, for all of the people you've perhaps hurt. Many of the pain or the hurt was done unintentionally, though. And even in the cases where you were angry and you lashed out, it's a time to forgive yourself. Because the higher meaning here is that from the soul level and the divine level, God always forgives you. The divine doesn't look at you as anything less than beautiful and perfect just as you are. You are blessed in light, okay? And so whatever it is that you feel that you've done wrong, or you made a bad decision, or you spent too long going down a pathway you don't know that was really helpful, the message is it's okay. We learn from every pathway we choose. There's ultimately not really a wrong pathway, because there will always be something you take from it. But more than anything, what Archangel Michael is saying is it's time to forgive yourself for whatever it is that is coming up for you. And it may be something small, or it may be something very large. Remember, in the divine's eyes, though, all is forgiven. But you need to now give that forgiveness to yourself. This is very important here in order for you to move forward. Now, the messages from the divine goddesses, and look at that, it's in alignment with what I just said. Divine goddess Kuan Yin. She's the goddess of compassion. Give yourself that compassion. And also give everyone around you that compassion as well. Release judgments about yourself and others, and focus on the love and the light that is within everyone and is ultimately within every situation. When you rise to the level of your higher self and your heart, you cannot help but see where the love is. Even if it was just a small little candle of love, you're going to find that. You have the opportunity within every single situation in your life to choose to see it in terms of what is the light here or what is the darkness. You always have that choice. And Kuan Yin is guiding you to look for the light within it. And the light is always akin to the learning or the gift that was a blessing in disguise. And sometimes we don't get that gift till we are outside of that situation or beyond that relationship. But she's also saying, sit in your heart, sit in your love. Do not allow unforgiveness or judgment or anger to bring you down. Come back in to your heart and sit within the essence of divine compassion. That will guide you here and will bring you to wherever you need to go. And the other message from the goddess Astara is this is a time of great fertility. And that also goes in alignment with the astrology and explore your options, right? So the goddess energy is perfectly aligned with Archangel Michael messages. It is the perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions and situations in your life. And I love this because see how she's opening her hand to plant the seeds. Yet in her basket, she already carries a harvest. So see how we are going into this lunar eclipse or full moon, planting new seeds, but also carrying a harvest from all of our past learnings and experiences from this lifetime and multiple lifetimes and multiple journeys of our soul. She's showing us here also with the Easter bunny here, the bunny and the Easter eggs, that what we are planting now or what is coming into fulfillment or harvest for us is going to come in the springtime during Easter, which is the end of March, April. It's usually in April, so I'm seeing a lot of things coming into harvest at the end of March and throughout the month of April and pretty much throughout the time of spring and as we go into summer, because we're seeing the beautiful summer flowers here. So please know that you're in the middle of things coming to harvest for you and completing while you're also reaching out your hand to plant the seeds for the new. Okay, beautiful message. And the last message here is the angel of guidance. A renewed sense of direction and purpose will soon manifest. Her message here is to let you know you do not go on this journey alone. All of the divine guidance is around you at all times. Call on your higher self, your soul group, your angels, your ascended masters, you know, the divine guides that are always with you. And you can call on the angel of guidance specifically to assist you through all of these, what do I want to call them? These new situations that are coming in, and also the things that you are closing down in your life. Because I was getting a sense that there are some completions coming in for many. And you know what it is that's reaching a completion in your life here. Okay? And for those who've been in a place where you feel like you don't know what's coming or you don't know what direction to go in, continue to pray, continue to be optimistic and ask for that clarity to come in. And you're going to get a renewed sense of direction very, very soon. I'm being given a yes on that. Okay? Beautiful message here from my very first deck or pile. So let's look at the second one for my beautiful white crystal. And I cannot remember the name of this. It's a crystal where we're able to see deep within. So it's an inner guidance crystal, almost like an orb, a crystal ball was the word I was getting there. And I wanted to pick from my Syrian Starseed Tarot for this, the Eight of Chalices or the Eight of Cups. And I'm going to put all the cards out together here because I have a feeling there's a story that's wanting to unfold. So we have the Eight of Chalices, we have Reflections, which is the Hermit, the Adept of Orbs, which is the Knight of Air, we have the Sage of Flames, which is the Queen of Fire, Starseed or the Fool, and the Master of Crystals, which is the King of Earth. Okay, so the message here with the Eight of Cups is you are indeed leaving something behind. And in this card specifically, I love it because he's already moving away from it. For some of you, you've already moved away from it. You've already left the Eight of Cups behind. And if you can see, there's almost like a shadow here where the first 3 to 4 cups are illuminated and the last 4 to 5, there's more of a shadow around them. What this is showing you is that whatever it is you're leaving behind, the first 3, 4 months or years or time frame, the first part of that marriage, relationship, business, whatever it was you were involved with, it felt good. You knew you were on the right pathway. There was something you were learning. It was very illuminated and alive for you. The second part of it, though, there was not a darkness, but perhaps an overshadowing that came in, or an understanding that you knew this had a time stamp on it or a time frame, and that there were very strong lessons that were coming in or challenges where it didn't feel so light anymore. It was becoming more of a hardship, but you knew it wasn't time yet. So you had to build the 8 cups. For some of you, I'm getting that this was indeed something around 8. Something around the number 8's coming up very strong, whether that's the 8th of a month, whether it's the month of August, whether the number 8 is your birthday or your numerology. Perhaps it's something you were in for literally 8 years. And the first 3 to 4 years were good, but the second part was not so much. And now you've moved away. You're walking away. You're taking action to leave this behind, but you're taking the experience with you. What I love is the cups are not down. They're all upright. You're taking the wisdom and the experience with you. 8 is also one of the numbers of completion. So the guidance is going with you, but indeed his back is towards his back is away from the 8 cups, and you're headed into the horizon, into something brand new. Now, for some of you, what I'm getting, because the Hermit came next to it, is you're still not walking away yet, okay? So the walking away, certain people watching this video are in different places here around this. Some of you are still reflecting on these 8 cups and you're wanting to get better direction on where to go. Others, you've already walked away from it, you're completed with it, and you're already on the other side of the horizon. And then others are just starting that movement away. Okay, so I don't know which of the three groups you fall into, only you know that answer. However, no matter where you are on that journey, you're in a place of inner reflection. Whether it's inner reflection on how to complete it completely or what to do next. And you want to be in the hermit mode where you're in deep inner reflection because you want to make sure that what you bring in on the other side of that horizon is exactly the reality that you now want to create. Okay, so we have a lot of strong water sign energy here, and the Hermit is specific to the sign of Virgo. Again, we're back to earth and water. But I like earth and water because those are the two elements where they tend to move slower. You know, water wants to think about things. It wants to feel it through. Earth wants to see if it's tangible, practical, can I work with it, and I need time to do it. So it's good that we have those energies working for us. And with reflection, we also get the message that you and you alone know the time frame for you. And with these two cards specifically, I'm getting a message of whatever it is you're wanting to build, whether you're moving away from something completely, or you're wanting to move towards something new, or you're already beginning to build something. We're looking at months, whether that's 2 to 3 months or 8 to 9 months out, because the reflection or hermit is number 9 in the tarot deck. And then again, this could be speaking of days of the month, the 8th day or the 9th day, or if that numerology is specific to you. And then in terms of the months of the year, that would be August and that would be September. So we're looking at summer and the very beginning of autumn. And you know, I did get a message for some of you in terms of timing that what you are wanting to bring in or move towards is going to come in at the end of summer and as we go into the fall. Okay, so that's a timing for a few of you. Now the next message is the Adept or the Knight of Orbs. So now we have the air signs, but I like it because he is the Knight. He is giving birth to something. He is moving forward with a message. When I saw this card, my first instinct was this is a message of love. And I'm feeling that this is a year where a lot of new relationships are coming into being, where many of you are leaving behind a marriage or a partnership you were in for a while, and you are coming into a new one. But I'm also getting that for some, it's about leaving behind a business or a career that you put a lot of time and energy into, and you're moving forward into a new one, and you're bringing in the communication that's going to be necessary to bring in this new opportunity, this creative opportunity. And then the Sage of Flames, which is now the fire. So we've got all of the elements here: water, earth, air, and fire. She's the Queen of Fire. Again, now we're getting the messages of speed here. Okay, now I'm getting, they're telling me that for those of you that have very strong water or earth energy in your chart, you could be moon, sun, rising, or just have a lot of planets in your chart in earth or water. You may be perhaps moving a little bit slower, taking your time to make sure everything's planned the way you'd like it. For those that have the fire element or the air, I'm feeling like you're already moving forward and you're doing so quickly, especially the air signs I'm getting that message on, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And for the fire, I'm getting you're kind of in the middle here, and that would be Aries, Sag, and Leo. You're thinking about it. You've already been putting certain coals into the fire, but you're also sitting there and meditating upon it. So you're kind of in the middle zone. You're ready to go, but you're giving it a little bit more forethought. And for all of us here, The Queen of Flames means that every decision we're making, we're doing it from a place of centeredness, from a place of wanting to come from our deepest core intuitive body. And I'm getting a very strong message around bringing in creative energy here. We're wanting to create something absolutely magnificent in our lives. And you know, when we get to the Queen or the King of any one of the four suits, there's a sense of mastery here. So we have reached a place of great achievement creatively already. And we have a sense of self-worth and self-confidence so that we can indeed move forward with this offer, whether it's love, business, or both. And then lastly, the starseed, which is the Fool and the Master of Crystals, is again showing us mastery. And starseed is it's time for the new beginning. And see how that beautiful orb of light is coming in very quickly. The time is indeed now. And I'm going to even stretch it out just to say the time is now means the year is now. 2020 is it. Okay, so you are beginning a new journey. Have faith and trust in this journey. Take that leap of faith. You have the fire energy, you have the air energy guiding you forward into the new, stretching beyond your comfort zone, opening up your belief system and how you think about things, broadening your perspectives so that you can indeed bring in this new beginning for you. Why? Because you have mastered something. You are ready. That's what I'm getting from this card. You are ready. And lastly, the message I'm getting here between these two, the King of Earth and the Queen of Fire, is that for the Divine Feminine, you're following your passion, you're following that inner guidance and that inner flame from the deepest core of your being. And from the masculine, you've set down the foundation for what you want to bring in. So see how it's different? The feminine energy is following the passion, the intuition, and the creative spark. And the masculine is laying down brick by brick, mortar by mortar, the foundation. He or she is mastering the physical world and the financial economic world to create and follow the passion. So the two are working in unison to create this reality. But it can also be letting you know, if you find yourself more in the masculine energy, that your guidance for this year, especially the first 6 to 8 months, is about mastering the physical reality and being sure that you've laid the foundation for what you want to build here. And for the feminine, those of you that feel you're more in the masculine energy, it's about following your intuitive guidance, following your passion, and lighting fire to that, lighting the fire within. Beautiful messages here, and I want to complete this by bringing in the romance angels. So I'm going to leave this here, the very last deck here, whoa, with my beautiful rhodochrosite, which is a crystal for the heart. The romance angels. Let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. Well, the Capricorn energy and Taurus, all the earth energies, specifically those two though, they like to know what's coming. They want to be able to control what's coming. Yet the message here is especially around love. Allow it to unfold. If you hold on to it too tightly, it's not going to move fast. In fact, it's going to get delayed or stuck. You have to open your hand and allow the energy of magic to come in, because love is something magical. It's not something you can control or decide how it's going to show up. Okay, so please step back. And the other thing I'm getting here, it's like he's looking at her, she's kind of looking at him, but she's not sure. So it's like they're both in this place of reflection. And of course, we got that message from the Hermit. So perhaps both the masculine and the feminine are in this place of reflection. He's thinking of, how do I approach this? How do I make this happen? And of course, he's the master of crystals, right? He knows he has to build a foundation. He cannot come in with the Knight of Orbs without having a solid foundation. One of the issues with the Knight of Orbs sometimes is he comes in too quickly with the offer, and it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't make sure that I had everything set up. Okay, so you've got to be sure that you've laid the foundation. And then she's there waiting for the offer, but also wondering if it's coming. Is kind of what I'm getting. The feminine is looking at it sort of, is it coming? Is it not coming? I'm not sure. And what I'm going to tell whoever's the feminine here, whether you're a male or female, is keep moving forward on your mission and just be open to however this unfolds. Romantic feelings. Yeah, again, I'm getting the message that whoever's carrying the masculine card here is coming from behind. So whoever's the feminine, you may sort of see him coming, but you may not. It may actually be a surprise because he's kind of like coming in from behind her. The feelings are mutual. This is about building relationships where the feelings are absolutely mirroring one another. The love is not only eternal, the love is equal. This is a beautiful, beautiful card here, and I'm getting a lot of messages for love this year, that it's about your divine counterpart. In 2020, we are indeed coming into union, in romantic union, with those where we actually do have a mission upon the earth now. And that mission is being put in the forefront. Okay, and the last message I'm getting here is your feelings are real and they are worth exploring. So what I'm getting here for those of you that have had doubts, and it kind of goes back to this card, okay, where she's not sure, this is your guidance, that if you've been getting intuitive hits, that you feel something towards someone and it's not leaving you, or you're feeling their energy, but you're not seeing them, you're not hearing from them at all, the message I'm here to give you is, it is real. You are feeling them, but they simply are not moving yet. They don't maybe know what to do. They're still maybe in the reflection mode, or they're in the Eight of Cups where they're walking away from something, but it's not yet complete. And maybe they need time for inner reflection to gather their resources, to gather their inner emotions so that they can indeed come forward to you, okay? And the last message we have here is passion. No matter what, always follow the passion of your heart. Allow your heart and your soul to sing with joy. You have to follow your inner passion, wherever that is guiding you. And that's a passion towards love, what you love in life, whether it's a person or spending time with your friends. It's following your joy, wherever that joy leads you. And the last thing I want to leave you with is letting you know that this year is bringing you your passion. It is opening it up completely so that you can sing with joy. What I love in this card is they are both open. There is nothing around them that feels closed. His wings are open. There's a smile on her face. The sun is shining here. Everything is open wide. So I am asking you, as I complete this message, to just open your heart to everything that is coming towards you in this year of 2020, because I believe it is going to bring a lot of beautiful things to you. My love goes out to you all. Happy lunar eclipse. Happy Sun, Mercury, Saturn, Pluto alignment.